Bezat Hashem, B'shat Matzliach. We're back here at the Bet Midrash HaKadosh David Chai, right before Mincha. Anybody could join us? 4601 Thomas Street, Bezat Hashem, here in Hollywood, Florida. All right, so we are holding at, today is the 20th of the month of Shvat, which is Tuesday, the third day of the week of Parashat Shabbat, Parashat Mishpatim. You still in the Egyptian Nigunim?
לא, אני עם השיעורים האלה של הזה כבר העין שלי קפצה החוצה.
So yesterday we had a machloket, or like a yes or no. When do you make a blessing? When washing your hands, do you make a blessing before you wash and then you wash? Or you make a blessing before you wipe and then you wipe? Or you make a blessing after you even wipe? That was the Ramah machloket. That's what Ashkenazim today noagim to even make a blessing after they wipe.
After they dry.
They dry the hands. Yes.
We do it before we wipe.
Before we dry. Yes, before you dry.
Chabad mainly do after they...
This was the Mishnah, was the Shulchan Aruch yesterday. So now, just to shortly recap it. Now, Mishnah Berurah is going to dissect over la'asiyatan. We have a law that if you make a mitzvah, you make a blessing before you perform the mitzvah. That is called over la'asiyatan. You're doing something before you say the bracha, before you perform the act. So therefore, sounds like appropriately is to wash your hands. You were about to wash your hands, make a blessing, and then wash your hands. Now that would be the appropriate thing to do, according to the standard of maaseh of bracha. Kodam besamuch le'asiyah. Obviously, it means over here that whose shita is this? Shita of the most famous of poskim, who is every day mentioned at least a million times a day. Whose name is mentioned at least a million times a day?
Rav Yosef Karo.
No, maybe Rashi. Come on. Rashi HaKadosh is mentioned at least million, if not 10 million times, and maybe even a billion a day. He's in everything, right? So his b'shita was to make a bracha and then wash. Okay. Now, the famim she'en yadav nekiot. So now, why don't we do that? This is we talk about one of the Gdolei poskim, right? He's telling you to make a bracha. It makes sense. That's the way things are. You don't make a blessing after you start eating. So how come you make a blessing after you wash your hands? Good. So he says like this, that we have, the Shulchan Aruch brings it down. Why do we don't do that? Even though that yesh mevarchim nekodem netilah, but we nahagu shelo levarech ad achar netilah mishum dipamim she'en yadav nekiyot. Because what happened was that what's the purpose of washing? To remove tumah. How dare you make a blessing when you're tameh? Okay? Makes a lot of sense, right? So here's Mishnah Berurah, Siv Katan Mem. Zohar! You want to come sit next to me? You know what? I think if you sit next to me, it will be more effect than you.
You just need to unwind from the...
What?
You just need to unwind from the day. It's hard to...
Yeah. With me screaming in your ear, you'll unwind very fast.
So Siv Katan Mishnah Berurah, right?
Yeah, Siv Katan Mem. If I'm going to scream in his ear, he's going to be up, waking up right away. Gentlemen, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying. No, I'm going to read it, but I just need you to look inside and not on Yom Tov. I know he's a nice guy, but are you a nice guy? He's already offered, okay. לפעמים שאין ידיו נקיות, כגון שיצא מבית הכיסא. Wait a minute. He went out of the bathroom. So obviously he can make a bracha. או שנגע במקומות המכונסים בגופו, שאינו ראוי לברך קודם שנטל ידיו. It's not appropriate to make a bracha before you washed your hands. So therefore, you cannot do that. You cannot say, let him make a bracha like Rashi. Now, how do you justify Rashi then? What, Rashi didn't know this problem? Of course he knew this problem. So Mistama, we have to say that Rashi will say, what are you walking around after you went to the bathroom? Wash your hands after the bathroom. And then go get ready for Netilat Yadayim, for bread. Make a bracha on Netilat Yadayim for the bread. Okay? Now, that was Rashi. Mistama Rashi would say. שאינו ראוי לברך קודם שנטל ידיו ומפני זה נהגו בכל הנטילות לברך אחר הנטילה. So let's say we just justified Rashi, right? Rashi said, okay, your hands are clean. You made sure your hands are clean. Then make a bracha, and then wash, right? So why don't we say that? Why is that a problem? What would be the problem about with that? Not touch. What would be the problem? Why are you washing second time? Remember, we already had before that there's a whole shita that Bishayim Midbar, well, not Midbar. We said over here, Ratal Yadav Shetibulo Mamashke. We said here, Siv Katan Zain. Somebody watched to eat any produce that he's going to be dipping in 7 liquids. And then he changed his mind and he wants to eat bread. What did we say over there? You could wash without a bracha. Why without a bracha? Because it's called, there is such a thing, concept is bracha she'ena tzricha. Like for instance, can I on Shabbat, right? On Shabbat there is a heter, more or less, but Ashkenazim are very much against this heter. For instance, to make a bracha achrona in order to be mechayev bracha rishona. That will be everybody is against, but let's say in certain circumstance you would need to make more brachot, right? Let's see. What came into my mind, right? Let's say you eat ice cream. You ate one ice cream. You made charcoal on the ice cream, and you ate enough. Within 4 minutes, you ate the whole thing, which is more than kazai, right? Now you chayav bracha achrona. Okay, so you made a bracha achrona, but you know in 5 minutes, right after bracha achrona, you're gonna eat another ice cream. So the regular day will be asur mamash, right? There's a whole machlokes. Can I do that on Shabbat because you need more brachot? There's the whole discussion. What is going on here? So
what do? You're not allowed to eat that second ice cream now?
No, you do not say borei nefashot.
The second time?
The first time.
So what about if you already said it and you want another?
Oh, if you change it, if your mind all of a sudden changed, no problem. But I'm talking about with your mindset. You're saying I want to be marbeh b'brachot. So I ate ice cream. Okay, I ate ice cream. Now I made a borei nefashot. I'm going to eat ice cream even though I have intention to eat more ice cream. So now that I'm going to say borei nefashot, then I'll say shakon yevdvaro, and then another borei nefashot. So now I make more brachot. That is not allowed if you're doing it intentionally, right? Okay. So that's called what? Bracha she'ena tzricha. Really, your intention is not to, the blessing of borei nefashot is thanking God for everything that He provided. And halas, you completed your meal at that moment. You completed your consumption. But if you're going to continue consuming, and all of this is a trick to make a bracha, even on Shabbat will be a problem because that's bracha she'ena tzricha mamash lekule alma. So over here, there's such a concept. Netila she'ena tzricha. What are you going to wash now and then wash again? This is the machloket of Rav Ovadia and Ben Ish Chai. Because Ben Ish Chai and Kaf HaChaim both bechayev you. Coming out of the bathroom, wash, make a bracha asher yatzar, then touch makom metunaf, or your foot, or your shoes, right? And then wash again. Rav Ovadia says no. That's called the Netila she'ena tzricha. And gives you a different option, right? So again, this is a concept over here. So lechoira we don't follow Rashi because it sounds like Rashi was not concerned about Netila she'ena tzricha. Listen, you went to the bathroom, you wash your hands, come out, wash your hands again after the bathroom, say asher yatzar, like so Mishnah Rashi held like Ben Ish Chai. Okay, so we see over there Ben Ish Chai held like Rashi. Okay, Mem Aleph Ma'im Shniim. What is going on here? So Mem Aleph talks about Yadav Nekiyot Kodam Sheyatil Aleim Ma'im Shniim. ובדי כך מברכין עליהם אחר ששפשב ידיו וקבע שידיו נקיות קודם שיטיל עליהם מים שניים. Okay, so here's the Maran is saying what? It sounds like he's giving a suggestion. So when do you make a bracha? So he said, according to this opinion, you wash your hand, 1, 2, then you rub your hands. Now your hands are all the tumah left. After the first washing, why do we require 3? Why do we require 3? After the first washing, it should be tahor. And by the way, Kohanim did not do 3. Kohanim, when they came to the kior, they came to the top with water, they put their hand 1 second, millisecond, each hand.
It's less the darga of the Kohanim. Maybe they have no tumah.
No, that's not the issue. The issue is tafek. The question is now the liquid. Okay, your hands are now no more tameh. The liquid washed away the tameh. But now, what about the drips that's still on your hand?
Maybe it's like 3 times to take the tumah off.
That's right. So that's the issue. The issue is that the second time, according to Ashkenazim, that's it. That's why Ashkenazim wash 2 times only. The first time, you're washing off the tumah from the hand, and the second time they wash the tumah from the driplets. The liquid that's still on your hand is tameh. And remember that there is a takana of Chazal that that's what we're discussing specifically. Those seven liquids transfer tumah. They make the tumah back to the rishonah. Tumah rishonah. That's what they do with your hand, right? So now, so we wash 3rd time because Sephardim say, wait a minute, you're right. We worried about driplet of the driplet. Now, even though the second time it's clean, that's why, by the way, if you have you're stuck, you have no water, you did it twice. Halas. Right? What are you going to do? You could say, I'm going to time I have to wash it twice because it's Ashkenazim type. You have no water. That's enough. It's not a problem at all. Okay? Now, Ma'im Shni'im, Habet Yosef Hivizot B'Shem Rabbeinu Yerucham. I'm reading Mem Aleph. That Rabbeinu Yosef, Shulchan Aruch brought this in the name of Rabbeinu Yerucham. Shekatav Sheken Na'agu Rabotav. This is the way it was. That they would wash one time, rub their hand, make a bracha, and then wash it the second times. ובשיבולי הלקט הביא בשם רבנו מאיר ז"ל שנהגה לברך אחר התפילה וקודם הניגוף דרקמה וכן נהגו העולם.
Sorry, so wash one time and then what?
Wash one time, rub your hand as Shulchan Aruch told us, and then wash again the second time and the third time, right? Depends what shita you hold, and then you make a bracha before you wipe your hands.
For how we talking about?
So
On
wash
Netilat Yadayim,
once,
for bread.
one,
bread.
shafshuv.
Yeah.
Then again, one,
One.
shafshuv.
No shivshuv. One or two,
One.
two, and bye. Make a bracha. The shivshuv, the first washing and the shivshuv was already took away the tumah. Again, what are you worried about? The reason why we don't do it, the reason we don't make a bracha before Netilah is because maybe your hands are tameh. So now that you remove the tumah, make a bracha. We don't do that. We don't even do that. We wait. We wash all three. We raise our hands on Netilah. Okay, that's the way we do. But I'm saying this is the way that it's probably breaking down the shitot. Mishnah Berurah over here is explaining to you. What do you want to say, Rabbi Yom Tov?
אם אתה נכנס לשירותים, כמו למשל פה בבית כנסת, יש כיור.
יפה.
אתה לא משתמש בנדל"ן, אתה שוטף ידיים רגיל, סבון. אחרי שעשית את הביזנס.
אוקיי, הלאה.
מנגב הכל.
יפה.
יוצא החוצה, בא לכיור פה. אתה כבר ידיים נקיות.
כן ולא, מחלוקת. No, what's the problem?
לא, עם ידיים נקיות, אז אתה יכול
According to
לעשות...
מקובלים, you can't wash your hands in the bathroom according to מקובלים.
כי ברגע שאתה בפנים, אתה
מקום.
נתקמא עוד
So
אחד.
there's a whole thing, no? If there's a wall,
Yeah, there's nothing there.
no, it's already.
You have a hole number one right in front of you.
But if the wall,
In our sink
if the
here,
wall is
in our
there,
bathroom.
technically it's a separate room.
No, over
No, it's
here
not.
you have separate, you have
No,
door.
you don't. You don't.
You have door.
No door.
It's next
But
to the sink.
If there's a
But there is a
wall,
door between the toilet to the sink. Okay.
Again,
There's a
there's
door
less
there.
than.
The door is
First of all, there is less than 4 amot from the urinal
Urinal is the
right next to the
Before you
sink.
go to the sink.
Yeah.
So
You need
what?
4
But
amot. If
there's
it's
a
the next.
wall, if there's
What?
a wall, if there's a
Yeah,
wall,
okay, it's a big machloket. Let's not get into it. You do whatever you want. If somebody washes in that bathroom, comes out and makes a bracha, not a problem. Okay, somebody washes at home and okay, listen, my children, I am trying to enforce it, but you know what they do? I'm not going to write down puzzle all the food and everything, right? Okay. Even though I did it once, it was not a smart idea. Okay, anyway. Okay, gentlemen, we'll talk about that later. Okay. So here, Mishnah Berurah acknowledges appropriate to make a bracha before you dry your hands. Let's see what Ish Matzliach says on that. Number 4. V'chen dat Arizal. This is what Arizal said. And that's how most of the world today is, Baruch Hashem. You go to Lubavitch, Arizal. You go to many, what's his name? Hasidim, they're all Arizal today. Sephardim, all Arizal. So you have some Litvish guys who are pushing this idea, you could wash your hands in the bathroom, and this idea of you could make a bracha after drying your hands. Very, Baruch Hashem, for most of my life, and I'm not a young boy, I've seen that those that do it like that, some do it like that, but mostly make a bracha before Netilah, and sometimes they even machmir, even Litvish to tell their families to make a bracha before. Yeah, that's what.
Do you say a bracha before washing hands?
Before wiping hands.
Before wiping.
No,
Nobody
so-
does it before washing.
What?
Nobody does it before washing.
I never saw. Again, but if let's say you saw something, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Can you even say something?
I don't know. So now that we know that there is a shitat Rashi like this, I don't know. I never saw it. Okay, let's see. מ"ב שגם הניגוב הוא טעם אחר לאיחור הברכה וגם אחר הנטילה חשיב עוד עובר לעשייתן דגמר הנטילה הוא הניגוב דרקמה בסעיף. So once again, when שגם הניגוב, so we said over here מ"ב, who is this? This is talking רמה said שגם הניגוב מן המצווה ומקרה עובר לעשייתן. So he says, Rama is explaining that if you're making a bracha before wiping, what's the wiping for? Why are you wiping? Because you just washed. So why are you making a bracha? Because you're washed, right? On Netilat Yadayim, right? You're elevating your hands. You're elevating your hands from Tuma state to Kedusha. So when you're wiping, it's part of washing. Because One without the other doesn't work. You need the other one, right? So you need a drying and since. So therefore, Rabbi is explaining beautifully why we make a bracha after washing before drying. The problem starts over here for Rama. So let's just finish this Rama over here, Mishnah Berurah. He says another explanation why you should make a bracha after washing. Because you're still in the mitzvah process of washing while you're washing. After washing, you're still in the process of washing before you dry your hands. Okay? Because the end of washing your hands is the drying. As we explain later. Okay. Now, now we're gonna have a big problem. Look at the Rama. Gentlemen, look at the Rama. Remind us the Rama. The last, mamash, one last line, like last 10 words of Rama. That's going to be giving us a lot of headache. This is the biggest problem. If you forgot to say a bracha before you dried your hands, you dried your hands. Rama says, wait a minute, make a bracha after. Wait a minute. The whole justification you gave me to make a bracha before wiping, because you told me wiping is part of washing. But now that you wipe, you're no longer in the mitzvah.
You finished the mitzvah.
You finished the mitzvah. So what are you saying? What is going on here, right?
Maybe it's two separate things.
What about one more time. Rama explained to you.
Yeah.
Rama explained to you. The reason I'm going to allow you to wash the whole allowance today we have to before you wipe you make a bracha, because really you should make a bracha before you wash. Remember, that's the mindset. Again, over siyatan. You don't eat and then make a bracha. You make a bracha and then you wash.
Okay, but the way that the bracha it's a separate thing, and the washing is a separate thing.
Obviously, it's not. It's not. What are you doing? You're elevating. What does bracha mean? It's bracha. One second. Is bracha b'chlal have to do anything with washing? No. It's elevating your hands. Good. So you're coming to elevate your hands from tumah l'kedusha. You make a bracha. It makes sense to make a bracha right before. Like you want to enjoy the apple. You don't eat the apple and then you make a bracha.
Okay, but again, this is that you wash, this that you do the washing and the blessing. It's two separate things. Like you connect.
Rabbi Avraham, mechila mikvotchem. We're here already 17 minutes today. Yesterday, 15 minutes almost on this topic.
Yeah.
Where were you? That's exactly what we're saying.
No,
we're saying exactly that. Why do you make a bracha?
So why the Rama telling you that you can bless after that?
After what?
After if you forget,
after you dry your hands.
Yes, okay.
So that's our question right now. But you're trying to justify it from soter the whole. We're discussing for 35 minutes one thing over here, and you soter the whole thing.
לא סותר.
Yes.
אני לא סותר, I said, אני אמרתי, זאת אומרת, אם הוא אומר לך שנגיד, אם אתה שכחת להגיד את הברכה, ואתה יכול להגיד את זה אחרי הניגוב, משמע שכאילו העניין של הברכה והעניין של הניגוב זה לא משהו שאתה יודע מעכב אחד את השני.
But that's exactly the problem here. Because it isn't. Good, so we're going to try to understand why.
Okay.
But you can't give that answer. But your answer, you're saying that it's not shayach אחד לשני, you just throw away the whole Torah we learned for the past 2 days.
No, I say if the Rama, say that you can bless.
But it's not a justification. If, again, you're right, that's exactly my problem. It should be your problem. Why is Rama throwing away the whole 2 days of limud we just made? And you're throwing it away. What is going on here? Why? Is it connected or not? If you tell me it's not connected, so why are you obligating me to make a bracha, or even before, or even after? Just make it bracha where the safest place, Rabbi Abraham. The safest place would be you wash, you wipe, and only then you make a bracha.
Is that how Ashkenazim do it today?
Not all, I just told you, not all. But again, that will be the safest thing to do. Again, if washing and bracha doesn't have one to another, the safest thing to do, the whole world should dry your hands thoroughly and make a bracha. That would be the safest route. You have no problems with tumah, you have no problems with Shem Hashem, not in the proper state. You're in the middle of washing. What do you need it for? If it's all one, Mishka Bubble, we should all wait till after wiping. Where is Rama coming off? So we're explaining. We're explaining that, okay, and he said, he's soter himself, he's telling you, the reason you make a bracha between, because it's, the niguf is part of the bracha, so it's not over on it. But then he adds, first of all, we already learned, I think, yesterday, here, שיש מחלוקת, here. But you know what? Before we go to Kaf Chaim, that's Ish Matzliach. We'll get to it today before we go to Mincha. But let's just quickly cover Mishnah Berurah if we can. Says the guy, שגם הניגוב הוא, טעם לדויסת, עובר לעשייתן, ומקרי עובר לעשייתן. Okay. Why? מם גימל. ואף בשופך רביעית בבת אחת לדעת המחבר, אין צריך לניגוב כלל כדי לקמא, במקום לפלוג מגן אברהם ושאר אחרונים. מה נצטרכים? עורך אחר כך. No, sorry, that's not. מם דלת. Okay. מם דלת is to our sheikhut, and that's till the end of the sieve. מברך אחר כך. You make a blessing after drying. What's going on here? Zor. Somebody confiscate his phone. Please. Inside. מם דלת. Inside with me. והיינו לפי טעם הראשון שכתב המחבר. So now we're going to try to dissect the whole thing here. That according to the first reasoning of מחבר, דלה דמי לשאר ברכות שעל מצוות דקיים עלן שאם לא יברך למתחילה, שוב אינו מברך. He says first things first. מחבר told us, established a founding. The founding is that this bracha of netilat yadayim has zero to do with our regular standards of brachot. Over asiyatan does not apply here. Rabbi Avraham Azako Baruch. You write probably Mishnah Berurah. He cheats. I love it. I love it. This guy, אחר כך, שוב אינו מברך אחר כך, דהואיל ואידחה. Because once the rabbis have pushed off the bracha till after washing, once you pushed off, what's the difference after washing and drying or just after washing? You know what's going on here? Once the bracha is no longer applies, once you took out the argument over alisiatan, because technically speaking you should do it before, but once you already pushed the bracha away from once you pushed it away from the standard, so right away you learn that you can no longer apply over la'asiyatan here. So let's see. Once it's itche, once it was pushed off, let it be pushed off. So what's the difference to me? You pushed off, you make a bracha before you dry, or you make a bracha after you dry. You hear what's going on here? דשני אחת שלא היה ראוי לברך מקודם משום שפעמים שאין ידיו נקיות. Over here, why don't we concern ourselves over alisiatan? Why aren't we concerned when you make a bracha before you do something over here? Because it was already taught to us that it's a problem that maybe your hands are tameh and you can't say Shem Hashem but Tumah. So once that already was the preventative point, לכן אף אם כבר ניגב ידיו יוכל לברך עוד. Therefore, so once you push something off, push it off. Make a bracha על נטילת ידיים after you wipe your hands. No problem at all. אבל אם כבר ברך המוציא. However, once you said hamotzi, you forgot to say al netilat yadayim altogether. You went home and you went on the table and you sit down and start eating hamotzi. Why? So we said you can't make a bracha anymore. Why? Katvu haposkim deshuv einu mevarech al netilat yadayim. There you can no longer say al netilat yadayim. Why? Okay, we all understand why, right? Because now you're already in a different realm. While you're washing, it was nitche till after washing. Nothing else. Once you interrupted the aspect of washing, when you're eating bread, are you still in the element of washing? No longer. You're in a different realm now. So now that you abandoned the realm of washing, you're now in the realm of eating. Now in the realm of eating, you cannot make a bracha unless you did something. Here you're not doing anything. You need to wash your hands anymore. You're in the middle of eating.
You can touch your shoes.
Oh, don't forget about that. Well, that's the point. Okay. There's going to be a problem. Don't touch your shoes. You're going to have Ravadia coming to you. Be careful, Ravadia is going to come to you with this stick.
No, wait. He said netilat yadayim bracha, or he didn't wash period?
He did wash, but he didn't make a bracha. That's what we're discussing. We're saying like this. If before you said hamotzi, you could you wiped your hands, which we don't, that's not our minhag. But if you wiped your hands and you want to make a bracha on netilat yadayim, it's okay. Because the whole thing is not, there's no concept here of alisiatan. Once it was pushed off, because technically speaking, you should wash before you wash, make a bracha before you wash, but you don't. Oh, so now that ruins everything, like Rabbi Abraham says over here. So meaning bracha has nothing to do with netilah, not so much, still has to do with netilah, because you see that you could make a bracha after you wipe your hands. Okay. Now we come to our scenario, the Sfaradim, we don't hold like that. The Nishchai says, if you wipe your hands, wash it again, or at least make it wet. You don't have to do the whole netilah again. Make it wet, because your hands have to be wet in the middle of bracha. ועבד למעשה אין לנהוג כן, right? ששוב לא יברך. So Taz says, you don't make a bracha. So Taz is a very big posek. It says, chas v'shalom. Once you wipe, it's bracha levatala, you can't make a bracha. Good. And now it's appropriate not to make a bracha. Finished. Mishnah Berurah also agrees with that. דרכו דרבו אחרונים שמסכימים עם הרמה, that the רבו האחרונים. However, there are some אחרונים that hold like רמה still. You can make a bracha right after the wiping. מכל מקום, לכתחילה יש להיזהר בזה מאוד. A Jew should be very cautious and be attentive of all other פוסקים. ועל כן יש להיזהר במה שנוהגים איזה אנשים שאומרים שאו ידיכם. Some say they make a statement, שאו ידיכם, for whatever reason is. וממשיכים, הדבר מלומר עד נטילת ידיים, עד לאחר הניגוב, שלא חדין עושים כן. So he says, no, that this whole concept is that they say psukim even. So Rabbi is now going to attack those people in the middle of washing, before they make a bracha, they say psukim. That also is wrong. Because it has nothing to do with anything. There's not the way that the Chachamim have established it, therefore we don't do it. But let's go back to Ish Matzliach as I promised you. Now let's go to the Sfaradim over here. He says like this, כף החיים פסק, שלא יברך כיוון שיש מחלוקת וספק ברכות להקל. Once you dried your hands, says כף החיים, no ברכה. אבל יוכל לחכך במקומות המכוסים שבגופו והתחייב נטילה אחרת. However, says כף החיים, it's allowed to wash your hands, to make them טמא, and now wash again. ואז יטול שנית ויברך קודם הניגוב. Here, once his hands are טמא, you're right. Maybe it's נטילה שאין צריכה. Maybe you didn't need to. But since the fact that he made himself tameh, now he wants to wash, he should make a bracha. There's nobody's going to argue that he's making bracha levatala. Because the fact is, his hands are tameh? Yes. Does he have to wash them before he eats bread? Yes. Now make a bracha. Very nice. But make a bracha before wiping. This is all speaking about that you didn't start, because you didn't eat yet. You didn't start eating. Okay? וכן כתב הבח ועיין בהערות שבסוף הספר. Now, however, once you start eating, then it goes into million ספקות ברכות להקל, you don't wash again. ברוך ה' לעולם אמן ואמן. Hopefully tomorrow we will continue in סעיף י"ב.